Alright, here we go, guys. Okay, let's enlarge it so we can see it. We're going to start with number 11. Remember, I'm going to give you a score on your notes. Miss Deidre, would you just walk around and make sure everyone's taking really good notes for me, please? Okay, number 11. No, I just want you to make sure that you follow along so that you can understand it tonight. Okay, so we were given D is equal to 14 inches. Okay, that's what they gave you. And the direction said find the circumference of the circle with a given radius or diameter. Use 3.14 or 22/7 as your pi. So what is our formula for circumference of a circle? Caitlin? C equals 2 pi r. So I need to plug in my information into this. Well, I have an r, and over here I have a d. So how do I get an r from a d?
You divide the D in half?
I divide the d in half. So my r is really 7. What's the other formula? If I don't want to do, remember I told you there were 2 formulas that you could use for circumference. Ibri.
Diameter pi.
Diameter pi. So this is, C is also diameter times pi. Because 2 times r is really the same thing as a diameter. So it doesn't really matter which way that you write it. You can solve it either way. So I always use 2 pi r. It's just the formula that I have memorized, and I just convert. And so I say C is equal to 2 times 3.14 times my r, which is 7. And I found r by dividing diameter in half. So I get C equals 14 times 3.14, and 14 times 3.14 is equal to 43.96. Now the unit of measurement they used was inches, so this must be inches.
And then they rounded in the book.
Okay, and if they rounded in the book, great. Otherwise, you can leave it as a decimal. And your test will tell you what it wants you to do. Round to the nearest tenth, round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, round to the nearest whole number. It will tell you what it wants. Okay, if all else fails, take it out 2 places and round it to the hundredths, or take it out 3 places and round to the hundredths. That's always the rule in math. All right, our next problem is number 19, and 19 said C equals 330 yards, and D equals question mark. Okay, and the direction said find the radius or diameter of the circle with the given circumference. Use 3.144 pi. So again, what's our formula, Haley, for a circumference of a circle?
C equals 2 pi r.
2 pi r. Okay? And if you wanted to make this one easier, you would probably use the formula C equals pi d, or d pi, either one. Okay, same thing. Now, we're going to plug in what we know. 330 is our circumference. We know 2 is 2. We know pi is 3.14. We don't know what r is. Okay, always, 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 we're combining our like terms. So I have 2 times 3.14, which is equal to 6.28 times r. How do I get my r alone, Miss Riley? Yep, divide by 6.28. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. So 330 divided by 6.28 equals 52.547. Now you take it out 3 places and you round to the hundredths. So this would be 52.55 equals r. Well, I solved for r, but I really needed a d. So what do? Tanner? Not divide by 2. Diameter is really 2 times r. So I'm going to multiply this number times 2, and I'm going to get 105.10 equals my diameter. And this should be yards. Okay? Now I'm going to do it with this formula to show you that it will work out exactly the same. I'm just going to draw a little line, and I'm going to do it so that we can see it with the other formula. So our circumference is 330. We're solving for d, and pi is 3.14. Move it up. D alone, Mr. Jared?
Divide by 3.14.
Yep, divide by 3.14, divide by 3.14. So my diameter is equal to 330 divided by 3.14, which is equal to 105.10 yards. Which one was actually easier? The one with the D, right? Because that's what we were officially solving for, so we had less steps.
So why do you
Okay.
use
I almost always use this formula because I just have it memorized and it's been ingrained in my head forever and ever and ever. And when I was a kid, no one ever told me that you could do D times pi. They just told me use 2 pi r. So it's memorized. But really, does it matter? No. So choose the one that's the easiest. Go the short way. Make less mistakes. Okay? Alright, I'm going to push pause on this recording and do another one.